Justin, I don't know if we talked about it post-game last week or Saturday, but having everyone chant your name, kind of being in the middle of that in the locker room, what was that moment like for you?
Yeah, it's really about the players on the team. I get to see these guys work every single day, and the coaches on the team who did so much to prepare. So I'm just appreciative of how everybody, stayed with it. And we went through a couple of difficult weeks where we didn't come out on top in some games where we felt like we could have. And so to keep fighting and persevere and go on the road against a really good team and find a way to win just showed a lot of resilience. So that's what I appreciate the most.
Obviously discussed the final play in detail. But I know in retrospect, my story I forgot. The play before that, that Jacob made to turn possibly a 10-yard loss into a 1-yard gain, which made you or enabled you to go for it, right? You're not going for it on 4th and goal from the 14.
Correct, yeah.
Was that almost as good a play as the touchdown?
It was a great effort by Jacob, one of the many he had on the night. I had decided early in that series where if we got to 4th and 3, we're going to go for it. And so basically 3rd and 3 gives you an extra down. And we're trying to obviously win it right there. And Jacob did a nice job on making a play to get us back to where it's, 4th and 3 to go for the win. So, yeah, it was a great play. We had a number of those. I mean, in the overtime, Kendrick had a couple big plays that, the yards were, decent yards, but they were hard-earned, and he kept us ahead of the chains. He did that all night, I thought. So there's a number of plays that you could look at that were just so critical in the outcome of the game, and that's how it usually goes in a tight ball game like that.
Coaches always say that each game counts the same. Each win is one win. This win was not just like every other win, though, was it, in terms of perception and all the other things?
Yeah, we don't really control the perception. What we control is going to get the one victory, which in the win-loss column counts the same. Does it breathe confidence in the team? Sure it does. Can it build momentum? Sure it can. We want to capitalize on all the good that comes out of winning a game like that, but also that the team understands that that's what we're capable of, and we don't need to be looking at that as some monumental upset. I mean, Louisville is a really good team, but when we play really hard and we minimize mistakes, regardless of how many guys are out of the lineup, like if you just go out there and play really hard and play good football, you'll give yourself a chance to win. And we had those chances in the two previous games, but we didn't capitalize on those. And so again, the momentum and the belief and the confidence that can breed, that's a really good thing. However, we also don't need to, look at it like it was some, shoot the moon type victory. With all due respect to Louisville, they're a good team. But if we play really hard and we minimize mistakes, and we'll give ourselves a chance to win, because there's a lot of plays in there that we honestly could play a lot better. So I think all those things can be true.
I noticed that Mason Minnie was a little bit of a snap count. How's he doing, and how's he going to be in 2 weeks?
He's doing better and better. He just needs a little bit of time, but we would expect him back. Yep.
And Uliave probably back.
Yeah, that's what we're planning on. It'll all come out with the injury report, but sure hopeful that he'll be back out there. Yeah.
And bowlers.
Same.
Yep. Same meaning.
Yeah.
Probably, or.
Yeah, it's whatever the injury report says, but it's trending the right direction.
Got the big game in front of you.
Yeah.
Obviously, every year it's so special, but for the guys that haven't played in it yet, have you the team understanding how big it is?
That's a really good question, and the rivalry games in this era of college football are so meaningful. However, you have a lot of new guys who haven't always been a part of the program for that long, so bringing them up to speed the best you can in the off season and preseason, and then these next 2 weeks, I think that's part of our duty, is, the pageantry of college football is what makes it so great, and the rivalry games are a big part of that. But to expect somebody that's been here for, 3 or 4 months or 9 months to feel the same as somebody that's experienced that game for for 50 or 60 or 70 years. Well, that's not realistic. Doesn't mean they don't want to win. They do want to win, but do they know the history of it like, some of the alumni do? They don't. Our job is to educate them, but at the same time, what we need to do is get ready to play our best football. That's what's most important. As people get older and they've experienced that game, whether it's their first year doing it or the fourth year, just every year you have a deeper and deeper appreciation for it. So I think that's all part of the era of college football we're in now, is us educating them, and time really is the number one factor in how much you can appreciate the big game. I think I can say that now, being here as long as I have, and for the fans that have been to 50 of them or 60 of them or more, they appreciate it on that deep of a level. So I think that's just kind of how it is in college football now.
I'm going to follow up on that.
Yep.
In this day and age of players moving to different schools, and certainly assistant coaches move to different schools all the time, there's still something about somebody who was at Stanford and now is at Cal, or somebody who was at Cal, and you went through it with Barrett Miller,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Terrence Brown played there, and now you've got Hunter Barth, who's been here. When you went through it with Mr. Miller, did you have to discuss anything with him the week of the big game? And when Terrence came here, I'm sure now it's not necessarily anything out of the ordinary, but the first time he coached against Stanford in the big game, I would imagine that would have been different.
Right. I think it's a great question for Terrence. Yeah. And let's see, for Miller, I think, is that unique? It is. I mean, it's not anymore, but 3 and 4 and 5 years ago, or especially 10 and 20 years ago, is very unique. And so I think the players, they see it more and more. I think it happens all over college football. For you or I, or a lot of, the older generation, it's
Like you're calling yourself.
yeah. I get, kind of the dynamic there, but I think for the younger players, it's just part of kind of how they've grown up. Even in high school, guys do it. But there's no question, once he was here, how hard he was going to play in the game, and it certainly meant something to him. But it's just a different dynamic than any of us had experienced prior to 5 years ago or so.
We get Matt on the phone. Check in with Matt. Matt, do you have a question for Coach?
Yeah, Coach. Kind of changing gears a little bit. I know you're not necessarily on social media, but in the days kind of after this game, coaches and players have really kind of come out to show their appreciation for you on social media. What does it mean to you to have that support from the guys in your locker room?
Well, I support them. We have phenomenal coaches on our staff, people in our building, our support staff, and players on our team. My job is to help them do their job the best they possibly can. And you're right. I don't have social media. I don't spend any time on it. I understand it's a really important part of college football and marketing and visibility, and I appreciate that. And same for our players; they're on it daily. That's kind of how they operate. But my job is to create an environment where our coaches and players can do their best work. And so I try to do that every day. And I'm certainly not perfect, and I'll continue to try and get better at that. But I really appreciate them and the work they put in, because, offensively, the staff, what they did this past week was exceptional. They work really, really hard to put the guys in position, just like the defensive coaches do, like the guys on special teams, like our recruiting staff does. So we got great people in the building, and the same with the players on the team. But I guess I could just reciprocate how much I appreciate all of them.
Bringing it back to the big game just one last time, what are some of the shorthand stories that you give to the new guys to get them up to speed as quickly as possible about the feelings?
Yeah, we'll give them some of the history. And I'll tell you right now, we do every Friday night before the big game in our team meeting, we kind of do this, the history of the rivalry and the history of the Axe. It's the longest team meeting of the year on Friday night. I enjoy it. It's kind of the night before Christmas type thing, and we talk about, how the Axe came to be, and the stories at the baseball game in the early 1900s when the guys stole it, and how many times it's been stolen, and how they came over here to the spring rally and took it back, and do you know all this?
A little bit.
Oh, well, you need to research it, or maybe one of these days I'll do the story for you. But we do that on Friday night. So leading up to the game, we'll have some other things that we educate them on. We don't take away from the preparation for the game because that's what's most important. But I do want them to appreciate the rivalry because it's a huge part of college football and obviously huge to both of our universities. So,
how well do you know Frank Reich?
I've met him just one time at spring meetings, and I've heard fantastic things about him. Yep.
I should probably know this, but Harrison was on the sidelines. Has he been on the sidelines?
Yeah, for maybe a month or so. Yeah. It's really more just communication with Jaron. Nothing. Yeah, there wasn't a lot to it other than just a little bit easier to communicate when you're face to face, as opposed to the heads up. Oh, yeah. It's better way to communicate to a young quarterback. There's a lot of coordinators that call it from the box. There's not a right way or a wrong way. Just better for us right now.
Anything else?
All right, thanks.
Thank you.